12 News at 5 starts now.
Fight turns deadly at a Valley High School after a student is stabbed and killed. The stabbing happened a few hours ago at Maryvale High School.
The name and the age of the victim not released. Also, the name of the person who stabbed that victim not being released. We have multiple crews outside the high school speaking with families, students, and police, school leaders as well.
Our Rachel Cole has spoken to multiple families, but first, we want to start with Gabriella Becerra, who was at a news conference that ended just about a half hour ago. Gabriella, have you learned any new information?
Well, officials are sharing very limited information with us at this time. We know students have all been released from school, but this campus behind me remains an active police investigation. You can see there the mobile command unit, and we've seen detectives coming in and out of this school entrance over the past few hours. Phoenix Police Chief Matt Giordano tells us they are working to make this a thorough and fair investigation. We know several students saw this incident took place. A video is even circulating on social media, so they're really working to make sure they talk to each and every one of those students. We heard from several city and school officials in the last few moments, all sharing a very heartbroken and solemn message. Here's what the school district superintendent had to say.
I would like to say that we are heartbroken in response to the senseless tragedy that took place today at Maryvale High School. As a mother myself, I am grieving for the mother, the siblings, the entire family and friends, and will cooperate fully with the law enforcement investigation.
Again, when it comes to the actual incident, police are staying pretty tight-lipped on the details. We know it all started between a fight between two male students in a classroom. One of those boys died from his injuries. A school safety officer immediately tried to save that boy's life. Unfortunately, was not successful. He died at the hospital. The other boy was hospitalized as well, but his condition currently remains unknown. The school was placed on a lockdown with no one being let in or out. At 1 o'clock, several hours after this incident happened, those students were dismissed from classes, building by building, and allowed to go home all through one gate. One mother who was out here, we'd been speaking to her all morning. She got here at 11 a.m. when her son texted her that something happened on campus. He didn't have a lot of details, but she waited out here in this heat for 2 hours, not knowing when her son would be released. But she told me she just wanted to know that he was safe and that she wanted him to know she was there for him. So here's that moment they were reunited. What's it like to finally see your son again?
It's just a sign of relief, you know. He's gone out, so yeah.
You waited several hours out here. Was it worth it just to watch him walk through those gates?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a mom, so this is what we do. So, and if I would have had to stand on here longer, I would have.
That mother and several other parents we spoke with this morning are demanding answers from the Phoenix Union School District about how this incident was handled. The district's superintendent did not make herself available for questions, but we did email over a few questions about what all happened here, the protocol. Was it normal for all of these parents to be told not to come to school? And then, as you saw earlier, it was just a zoo with all these parents waiting for their kids to be released. So we want to know from them exactly what was supposed to happen, if they learned anything from this situation. So we will be waiting for a response from the district spokesperson. We will share that information with you as soon as we have it. Tram and Troy.
Yeah, Gabriella, it was really confusing because when you were talking to that mom, the mom was getting more information, it seemed like, from her son, who was saying, yeah, class is going to continue, which was, you know, a little bit shocking after such a violent incident. And then school was still in lockdown when you had a swarm of parents still show up wanting to take their kids out. And in fact, technically, it was still in lockdown when those kids were leaving.
And it seemed like the whole situation was just evolving every minute that went by. We had a chance to speak with that woman's son, and we'll share more from him later. But he did tell me that although they were put on lockdown, they kind of paused their lessons for a short time and then kind of continued on. They went to their next classes. And so again, I just think it was something where they were taking the moment just minute by minute as it came. I don't know if they were expecting all of those parents to show up, as they told them not to. But as we spoke with that mother, she said she had no option but to come here and make sure that her son was okay.
Yeah, it seems surprising they didn't have a better plan in place. Now, fortunately, I mean, this was an awful situation, but it was isolated to one classroom. What would have happened if it would have been spread more, right?
Yeah.
To different parts of the school. All right, Gabby, we'll have more from you coming up later on tonight.
And our team coverage of this high school stabbing continues. 12 News journalist Rachel Cole is also live from Maryvale High School.
So, Rachel, again, students, parents, very shaken up by what happened today.
Yeah, sorry guys, still a little bit of traffic coming through obviously over here at 59th Avenue where the school is, where we're standing and have been for the better part of the day. Things much more calm on campus. As you can see, this one patrol officer just kind of managing that gate. That was where the zoo kind of took over. A lot of parents anxious to get their kids out of school, waiting for those buildings to be released at random, and of course a lot of anticipation and anxiety for those parents waiting for their loved ones to finally come off campus safely. From the time the alert went off that you were on lockdown to the time you finally got to hold on to your mama, what was going through your mind?
Just that I just really needed a hug from my mom, and so scared.
I was just saying thank God that you're okay.
Embracing after an hours-long wait following a school lockdown.
Praying for the other children and families, but I was just hugging her tight and just saying thank God you're okay.
Nicole Daniels, thankful her two babies, Kylia and Kiara, are okay.
I'm thinking, well, at some point, are they going to open the gate? And so I asked the officer eventually, are you guys opening this gate? He said, no one's coming on this campus. So I swooped around, parked right here, and I've been right here waiting for my girls to come out.
She's been waiting here all afternoon. You doing okay, Mama? Another mom waiting for her two daughters, finally seeing her youngest, Nayeli. So what were you hearing from other students? What was the lockdown?
Oh, well, all I heard was like these two kids are fighting, and then one of them just got stabbed.
Trying through multiple apps.
I said, is this a real lockdown? And I said, what happened? Is it fake? And she said, I'm in my class. And she said that she was okay, and she said it's not fake.
To communicate with her sister Eileen, who was also on campus.
She said she was scared, and I told her that my signal was really bad, so to text me on messages.
Phoenix PD telling us two male students were in a fight, both taken to the hospital where one of them died.
As a mom, my heart just goes out to that family.
Now fear and condolences spreading among students. What were you thinking when you heard the news?
I was scared. I hope the kid is okay. I thought it was like crazy that I didn't really think this was gonna happen on the third week of school.
I'm gonna pray for their families. I hope their families are okay.
I didn't think somebody's life would be taken just like that so easily.
It was pretty wild to hear from so many of these kids experiencing this scary situation firsthand. And as Troy said, thankfully it didn't spread outside of that classroom. But some of the video that we have seen circulate was just terrifying. You don't know what to do. Those kids go into lockdown and then they're immediately trying to text their parents if they have access to their phones. We've been reporting on that lately. Sometimes they have to put their phones away. So luckily the parents we got to speak to said, I heard from my babies. I was relieved, but yet I did have to play that waiting game out here until staff was able to safely release those students. So it was no surprise to see so many parents and guardians show up to Maryvale High School today, given the circumstances. We'll send it back to you guys.
So the kids that you talked to, and we're not releasing any identities here, but did they know who was involved, or was this just something they heard about? They didn't know the two boys involved.
Yeah, and that was my first question to them. Did you know the two boys who were involved? A couple of them that we spoke to were younger classmen and said, oh, I don't know them. Those were a couple of freshmen that I spoke to, so I'm not sure if that insinuates they were maybe older or just simply in different classes at the time. So we're not sure about who the students were who were involved, if they were part of any athletics or extracurriculars, or if they knew each other from something else. That's just really unclear at this time, but it's certainly going to be interesting to see what the connection was between the two. And of course, thoughts and prayers to the families involved tonight and everybody who showed up here on campus today.
All right, Rachel, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. We'll continue to follow this story for you on future editions here of 12 News throughout the evening. Thank you, Rachel.